out of the fire, and now I'm responsible for the fire.
So, I showed everyone the worst movie ever made, at least in my opinion, Foodfight, because Max here showed me Fateful Findings. So, so what do you think of Foodfight, man?
So, Foodfight is one of the worst movies ever made, easily, without question. I mean, it's the prospect of sitting through it again makes me want to vomit. Actually, the idea that I just sat through it makes me want to vomit. I mean, everything about this movie is terrible. Visually, it's garbage. You probably already know that if you've just seen a still from this movie. The audio is trash, and some of the audio shouldn't even be trash. So the lead character he's played by Charlie Sheen, right? And his audio is all good because they had him re-record it. But the director of the movie couldn't be bothered to re-record his audio.
Yeah.
I mean, how?
Maybe he gave up.
Yeah. And now let's talk about the stereotypes in this movie.
They stereotype Nazis as evil.
I mean, obviously, like, the bad guys are the X brand thing, and they
gotta do the.
Yeah,
this is the fucking
right. They do. And if you think that looks like a Nazi salute, so does the director. There's so much Nazi imagery in this movie. It's
like the eagle, the Nazi eagle crest, but instead it's replaced with an X conveniently.
Right.
Which is like probably 3/4 of a swastika anyway, if you really.
Yeah, and.
Don't forget the Latin stereotype, but they make it better because if you can get a Latino character to play their own stereotype.
Oh yeah, it's Shelley. Yeah, it's Shelley Morrison. She's like the maid from Will and Grace.
Right. And before we address the elephant in the room, there's also the chocolate guy who ends up getting with every single female in the movie except for one. Main character gets with, but that's besides the point. Let's talk briefly, because I don't know how long I can talk about this for, about Dr. Nose. We're going to call him Dr. Nose. It's not actually his name, but that's what we're going to call him.
Might as well be.
Yeah. And my God, if that's not the worst Jewish stereotype I've ever seen in any movie ever.
I didn't even realize it was a Jewish stereotype until we were watching this. I'm like, oh my God.
He has like
I didn't want to say
fucking
it, but the
enormous
voice,
nose.
the nose,
Yeah.
the fearfulness of just in general are all.
He's like neurotic as shit.
Yeah.
He's the neurotic big-nosed Jew, and it's appalling.
It really is.
How this got released in 2012 it's beyond me.
Because they had to release it eventually. They had to wait 9 years.
Yeah.
Dr. C. Nustrix.
Dr. what?
C. Nustrix. That's.
Oh, it's like sinus, huh?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, sinus.
Yeah.
This is like a Robert Rodriguez character, Dr. Sinus.
Don't forget that the merchandise for the Weasel and other things were released like
years
before the movie came. Because it came.
Guys, if anyone out there is watching this, please don't watch this movie. Don't. It's that bad. It's beyond bad. I mean, It's just wow. Wow.
It's like we watched Fateful Findings like before it, and somehow that was better by
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah. And just like the audio in this. We're listening to we were playing the credits. Let's play a little bit of the credits right now. Let's play a little bit of the credits. The credits, just the audio. This movie cost $65 million to make.
Yeah.
This movie cost $65 million to make. Do you know what you could do with $65 million? I don't. I've never seen $65 million. I guess I just did see $65 million, but you know, wow. Wow. Yeah.
It's not a good movie by any stretch of the mean. Oh wait, it does have motion capture, see?
It has motion capture. Okay. Wow. That makes it so much better.
It's
I guess someone had to motion capture the giant nose.
Jesus Christ.
Don't watch this movie. Don't.
yeah, no.
Somebody had a mocap the Nazis.
Don't.
Oh no.
Okay, I feel like there's a lot of unjust hate going on for this movie right now. Is
Fuck
it
you.
piss? No. But for what it is, it's not bad. I think it's a very beautiful metaphor for the corruptive influence of capitalism in our society, as well as how it leads to fascism later in life.
Could you criticize this movie without infringing on the rights of neo-Nazis as well as the director for putting Jewish
I
stereotypes
don't.
in
I don't think it's
No.
fair to criticize.
You gotta
because,
let them have their own
Yeah.
space so they can speak
You know, I think there's blame on both sides of these issues right now.
and create.
And you know, I hear you and I understand you, but I think you're wrong. And I think that this movie is really a wonderful representation of multi-ethnic showings in modern cinema, you know?
Wow.
And
Hearing
No.
you talk about this, it's really opened my eyes to an entirely new perspective.
well, you know, someone had to.
You know what? You're right. You're right. It's unfair of me to judge a shittily made product.
Hey, and allegedly.
Allegedly.
You know, honestly, I think this movie, as far as all things go, is really not that bad. I mean, its surrealist humor was a beautiful and just breathtaking illustration of the manner in which animation can be used to warm our hearts.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Foodfight.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm always telling my friends that are into shows like Family Guy and South Park, you really have to be smart to understand these things. You know, there's just a higher level of thinking that we all need to reach as a society.
That's the way I feel about movies like Birdemic, The Room, Fateful Findings. They're art. It's just people don't understand them.
No.
And
See,
people just don't-
I
people
think
just don't-
Birdemic is really overrated in a lot of ways because in the end of the day, that movie is all about the birds are the personified form of the right-wing government being shown as antagonistic villains in a modern everyday society in rural America.
It's about what Birdemic is about. Is global warming.
No,
it's like Mother. It's like Mother.
No. Let's
Just
not bring
better.
global warming into this topic because the birds and the birdemic
You're right,
were
you're
a
right.
real threat. Well, global warming is just a conspiracy perpetuated in order to suppress and deny people their right to believe that cold is snow.
You're so right. You're so right. Yeah.
I know.
I mean, honestly, it's just the fake news has gotten to me too.
Yes.
It's just
It's
so
so
crushing.
pervasive in culture. That's why my hero, Milo, I hope you can see this. That's why...
I'm fucking done with